spirit of the poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning here with us right now. Okay guys, we're here in the hotel room. The Regina Hotel is actually a combination of buildings. There's a map on the door which I'll show you in just a second, and I have a feeling we're in room 84. I have a feeling this isn't exactly the building that would have been Elizabeth Barrett Browning's house, but it's literally like just through a couple of doors that way and we're there, so we're close enough, and we're not sitting in a park like we did with Christina Rossetti, so we have full control of the environment. This is such an old place, like I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pretty sure the floorboards are the original Victorian floorboards because they're all bent out of place and very squeaky and it makes a lot of noise. We'll walk through the hotel in a bit. I've already done a walk through the hotel for the behind the scenes members video. I've already walked around the town, done a video of that, so if you're interested in seeing what the town's like during the day, what the hotel's like in more detail than what I'm going to show you in this video, make sure you become a member and go and watch the behind the scenes of this. I'll also be doing a reaction video and a afterthoughts segment in that video talking about whatever is about to happen tonight. But we're here, it's our first video of season 2 of On the Hunt. We are literally right next to, if not in, Elizabeth Barrett Browning's home while she was here in Torquay. So let me quickly show you around the room and show you what we're dealing with. So it's a very tiny room. Got a mirror. Now luckily you'll see there's a mirror just here. My first thought when I saw this was that we had a portal in here. For those of you that don't know, a portal is when two mirrors are directly opposite each other, and so it's an endless trail of mirrors, but luckily they're not directly opposite, so we got away with this one. But it's quite a dingy room. Very, very small. I can almost touch both sides. But with this, you'll see we're in 84. Now, her letters describe her overlooking the sea, which is here. So I would imagine this square here would have been her home, and then when they bought it as a hotel, they've obviously extended into other buildings, which is where we are, but it looks further than it actually is. I've walked it already, so later we'll head to around here and maybe do some reading of poems just to set the tone. So I'm not gonna lie, it feels kind of weird. It feels weird being here. As you can see by the bedstand, I have a biography of Elizabeth Barrett Browning, as well as her poems, collected poems. So we will be reading some of her work just to kind of, again, set the tone, maybe do a bit of a trigger exercise to hopefully welcome her into the room. Elizabeth Barrett Browning's time here wasn't the best. In fact, she ended up hating it here. I don't know why I got up and took 2 steps. The room is so small, like literally. Anyway, her time here wasn't the best. She was quite miserable here in the end. While she was here, she lost 2 brothers. One was away in Kingston working on the family plantation. They were slave owners back in the day. And he was away in Kingston and he passed away of tuberculosis, I think that's how you say it, TB, which knocked her, and she went into, I mean, her whole life since she was a kid, she had She was suffering from all kinds of ailments, from, you know, twitching, compulsive twitching, as well as her whole life she had really bad lungs. And so she actually got sent down here to Torquay by the doctor to get fresh air, because that was the cure. I think it was, at the time it wasn't diagnosed as asthma, but in hindsight I think they say it was asthma. Anyway, she got sent down here to Torquay because her lungs were really acting up. And she came with her siblings, her brother Edward and her sister. There were 12 of them. I forget which sister it was. I believe it was Henrietta. Anyway, so while she was down here trying to get her health back on track, she unfortunately lost her brother Sam, who was in Kingston, Jamaica. Again, died of TB, which rocked her, and her health really suffered for it. And so her dad came down from London, and because he knew that she was going to be so affected and didn't want to risk losing another child. However, unfortunately that didn't work out, because not long after, her brother Edward, who she used to call Bro, her brother Edward went sailing out in the harbour just in front of the hotel, and never returned, unfortunately. He didn't sink in the harbour out front. He went missing, of course, and then I think it was 3 weeks later his body washed up in a nearby bay, which is 2 miles away from here. So very, very tragic time here. She was so close to Edward. I believe she was the firstborn, he was the secondborn, and they were very, very close. And obviously losing Edward really rocked her even more, to the point where she was, her own life was on a knife edge. Her health was really, really bad. So after she lost her 2 brothers, her dad remained for a few months until he eventually had to leave for London, because they were a rich family. And there's going to be a full biography after this bit, but I just wanted to give you the lowdown of the Torquay section of her life. So eventually her dad went back to London, and she was basically imprisoned here. Her writing stopped. Her writing completely stopped for a long while she was recovering from all the tragic deaths of 2 of her brothers, and yeah, so she didn't enjoy her time here in Torquay. So here we are in Torquay. We've got quite a lot going on. I'm going to quickly pan this round. I've brought literally everything with me. I've even brought a night vision camera. I've brought the old voice recorder from Abraham Cowley's video, as well as the dowsing rods. We've also got the spirit box. We've got the K2 back here, and we've also got something new, which I'll be talking about a little later on. So we're here. It is still relatively light out. I've pulled the curtains, but it's relatively light out. I'm going to wait until night falls, and then we're going to begin the investigation. So until then, I'm going to carry on reading the biography, and I'm going to put up the biography of her whole life from birth to passing, so you know exactly who we're dealing with. I've given you the lowdown of her time literally here in Torquay. And we'll go from there. Tonight, we travel back in time to unravel the haunting saga of Mrs. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, Victorian England's most celebrated female poet, whose life was smothered in tragedy and melancholic shadows. Elizabeth was born on March 6, 1806 in Durham, England, unto a wealthy and influential family, nestled within the comforts and privileges of a hauntingly beautiful yet eerie estate. It was here, shrouded in opulence and grandeur, where the woven threads of Elizabeth's life conjoined the tragedy of early loss with the genius of unparalleled poetry. As a young child, tragedy struck Elizabeth in the form of an insidious illness that seized her life, leaving her with a frail body and weak lungs, turning her into a spectator recluse to the world filled with life and laughter. The special bond she had with her brother Edward, whom she fondly called Bro, tarnished when he tragically drowned, a grim event that deeply scarred her psyche and led her further into the abyss of melancholia. Elizabeth's health continued to dwindle, her body imprisoned within the confines of her father's household. Fueled by a looming sense of doom and a lurking cloud of mortality, Elizabeth began to carve out her emotions through poetry. She depicted the ephemeral beauty of life, love and loss with such raw intensity they echoed with the silent cries of her own tragic existence. Often romanticised in pop culture is her love story with the famous poet Barrett Browning. Yet even that began under dark skies when Barrett Browning was isolated in her family's mansion. A gloomy, haunting stronghold where Browning came to her like a spectre of hope. Misjudged by her oppressive father, the couple escaped in a midnight elopement across a moonlit path, adding yet another layer of poignant desolation in Elizabeth's sorrow-touched life. Elizabeth Barrett Browning died in Robert's arms in 1861 in Florence, her life's flame extinguishing as quietly as it had burned. Ever since, whispers of her ghostly presence have echoed in her former abode, her ethereal verses forever imbued with the essence of her spectral melancholy. And so tonight we go on the hunt for a very what I would assume to be a very melancholic, sad spirit of a fantastic, just wonderful poet. That is Elizabeth herself. Let's talk more about the town and of course the location that we are going to tonight. Torquay, a quaint coastal town in Devon, England, dates back to Roman times and became particularly significant during the Victorian era as a fashionable seaside resort. The town's literary history is as rich as its beautiful landscapes. It is most famously known as the birthplace of renowned mystery writer Agatha Christie, who drew inspiration from its genteel charms. Torquay's beautiful harbour and beaches served as a backdrop for many key scenes in Christie's novels. Torquay also played a crucial role in the preparations for D-Day during World War II. In the run-up to the invasion, thousands of American servicemen were stationed in and around the town, being the embarkation point for many troops. Understanding this piece of Torquay history can make stepping onto its sandy beaches a thought-provoking experience. And if you'd like to see more of the town itself, including the pinpoint location where they called U-boats, I think they were U-boats, right, on D-Day. If you want to see the exact pinpoint location where the American soldiers set off for D-Day, you can become a channel member. Every On the Hunt video is accompanied by a members-only video where I actually do a tour of the area during the day. So lots of history in this one, so do become a channel member. It's because of my channel members that this whole series was even possible, where I got to, you know, stay in locations like this, which obviously costs money. So thank you to the channel members already. If you want to see all of that, do become a channel member. But that's the town itself. Let's talk about the Regina Hotel, the building, the place where Elizabeth Barrett Browning lived and suffered, unfortunately, during her time in Torquay. In the heart of Torquay, a seaside town in Devon, stands a symbol of its Victorian history, the Regina Hotel. The Regina Hotel, an imposing structure, dates back to the 19th century when Torquay was a thriving port and holiday destination for the wealthy and elite of the Victorian era. Much like any establishment of its time, Regina Hotel has been a silent witness to countless stories. While many are tales of joy, laughter and connection, some are far more sinister. The spectre of the past has left an indelible mark on the corridors of the Regina. The Regina Hotel has countless stories embedded in its Victorian walls. Ships lost at sea in vicious storms left widows who took solace within the hotel's grandeur, their sorrow seeping into the hotel's foundation. Some guests have reported feeling a sudden chill wind, hearing soft sobs in the night, or seeing the flicker of a lonesome figure hovering at the window, still waiting for a ship, long since lost at sea. In the old dining hall, there are whispers of ghostly banquets. Sometimes late at night, that eerily distinct sound of silverware and crystal clinks echo through silent halls, as if spectres from the past are engaged in an eternal feast. But perhaps the most chilling tales of all is that of the lady in white. Seemingly dressed for an evening at the opera, she is often seen in the older part of the hotel, standing in shadowy corridors or walking the grand staircase. Many guests have glanced her in their peripheral vision, only for her to disappear when they give a second look. Whilst there are no specific records of tragic events happening within the Regina Hotel, these tales bear evidence that the hotel indeed has a lingering mystique and essence of its past that refuse to fade away. Whether these stories are a product of vivid imaginations or perhaps hold a grain of truth, I'll leave you to decide. And so, with all that being said, let's go on the hunt for Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Okay, I'm not even kidding. I literally just finished that intro section that you just watched. And I was going, look, I've even still got my phone open. I was going through the notes. I just had a weird sort of, I don't know even how to explain it. It was like dried paint, like as if dried paint chips was falling down, but like this is, it was like that, but frailer, like dried paint chips. I can't even recreate that for you. I don't know, maybe it was something on the other side, but then would I hear it? I don't know. Hey guys, I am just sitting here kind of waiting for things to quieten down in the hotel. People are just having dinner, finishing dinner, walking about, getting ready to go out, whatever. And I just feel really dizzy and uncomfortable, and like my vision is like, I don't know how to explain it. You know when you turn the camera really fast and it goes blurry? Every time I kind of look around, I'm getting that. When I laid down earlier to do a bit of reading, I kept getting really dizzy. I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's my health or if something else is going on, but I feel really uneasy. Maybe because it's such a small room, or maybe it's something else. I don't know. I just thought I'd check in and let you guys know. But I will, next time you see me, everything will be dark, everything will be quietened down, and we'll get started with the investigation. Okay guys, the investigation is about to begin. I gotta keep my voice down because I know that there's someone in the room next to us and the walls are very, very thin, so I'm going to start by reading a poem called A Sabbath Morning at Sea, obviously with the tragedy of her brother passing at sea. I thought it would be quite fitting, a trigger. Still people walking around, I don't know, you probably saw me jump on camera then. I'm going to read a poem called A Sabbath Morning at Sea as a sort of trigger to try and summon up the spirit of Elizabeth Barrett Browning if she's here. And I chose this, A Sabbath Morning at Sea, because obviously her brother Edward passed at sea, so I figured it was a good choice. And here it is. A Sabbath Morning at Sea. The ship went on with solemn face to meet the darkness on the deep. The solemn ship went onward. I bowed down weary in the place, for parting tears and present sleep had weighed mine eyelids downward. Thick sleep which shut all dreams from me and kept my inner self apart and quiet from emotion, then brake away and left me free, made conscious of a human heart betwixt the heaven and ocean. The new sight, the new wondrous sight, the waters round me turbulent, the skies impassive o'er me, calm in a moonless sunlight, sunless light, calm in a moonless sunless light, half glorified by that intent of holding the day glory. Two pale thin clouds did stand upon the meeting line of sea and sky, with aspect still and mystic. I think they did foresee the sun, and rested on their prophecy in quietude majestic, then flushed to radiance where they stood, like statues by the open tomb of shining saints half risen. The sun, he came up to be viewed, and sky and sea made mighty room to inaugurate the vision. I oft had seen the dawn light run as red wine through the hills and break through many a mists in earning, but here no earth profaned the sun. Heaven, ocean did alone partake the sacrament of morning. Away with thoughts fantastical, I would be humbled to my worth, self-guarded as self-doubted, though here no earthly shadows fall. I, joying, grieving without earth, may desecrate without it. God's Sabbath morning sweeps the waves. I would not praise the pageant high, yet miss the dedicature. I just got chills. I carried toward the sunless graves by force of natural things, should I exult in only nature. Oh, I just got chills. And could I bear to sit alone, mid nature's fixed benignities, while my warm pulse was moving? Too dark thou art, O glittering sun, too strait ye are, capacious seas to satisfy the loving. It seems a better lot than so, to sit with friends beneath the beach, and feel them dear and dearer, for fellow children as they go, in pretty pairs with softened speech, as the church bells ring nearer. Love me, sweet friends, this Sabbath day. The sea sings round me while ye roll, afar the hymn unaltered, and kneel where once I knelt to pray, and bless me deeper in the soul, because the voice has faltered. And though this Sabbath comes to me without the stoled minister or chanting congregation, God's Spirit brings waters drear, creator on creation. Himself, I think, shall draw me higher, where keep the saints with harp and song and endless Sabbath morning. Okay guys, I I just got serious chills while reading that, so I thought it might be best before going out and reading the poem. A second poem that I had ready, that was sounded like someone standing outside the door. Now obviously we're in a hotel, so there could be people moving around. I don't really want anyone listening. The walls are so thin, I don't really want people listening in to what we're doing. There's a lot of cracking noises. I got serious goosebumps whilst reading that poem, and I feel like possibly something's here. Hopefully Elizabeth Barrett Browning, which is why I want to do the dowsing rods. Okay, cross is yes, part is no. Cross is yes, part is no. Is the spirit of the poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning here with us right now? Okay. Thank you. Are you happy to communicate with me tonight? Do you wish to communicate with me tonight, Elizabeth Barrett Browning? Okay. Thank you. Is this part of the building in which you lived in? Is this room situated in part of the building in which you lived in? No, okay. I have goosebumps, but I've done this before. I'm almost a seasoned veteran though. I don't like it. It feels like someone is standing outside. I've got my elbows on my knees because I do not want to try and influence any of this. Okay. Did you enjoy my reading of your poem? No. That's a no. I apologise. I did butcher it. I'm kind of definitely out of my comfort zone right now. Okay, I apologise for butchering your poem. I will read another one by the lift, which is where I believe is where the lift is the original boundary of where you used to live. Yes, I thought so. Okay. Am I in any danger? am I in any danger by doing this here tonight? Neutral. Not a yes, not a no. I don't know if that's concerning or not. Am I safe? Okay, no. Hang on, let me steady these first before I ask. Am I safe here? That's my fault, hang on. Am I safe here? That was me up. Let me steady myself. Am I safe here? I'm kind of shaking now. Not nervous, but I don't know. Okay, so neutral on being safe, neutral on being in danger. So I guess, what does that mean? I don't know. That was odd. I started getting headaches throughout that one. There was some clickings going on, but they were so faint I couldn't tell where they were coming from, and whether it was just the building moving and settling or what it was. Really, there's only two things left to do: the spirit box out loud, and then the Estes method, which includes the spirit box. Now, the spirit box has provided the best evidence I've ever caught, I think, in season 1 with Christopher Marlowe. I can't tell you how convinced I am that we absolutely made contact with Christopher Marlowe in that one. And after that video, for a long while, that was nearly a year ago. Well, it will be a year ago when this comes out. It's almost a year now filming. And after that video, I was getting I was feeling energies at home. I was opening up more after that video, and I think that showed with the Christina Rossetti video, which I filmed after, and the Wordsworth video, which I filmed after. I felt very much more... Okay, it's the bed. It's definitely the bed. I feel like I definitely became more empathic and in tune with this sort of stuff, but then I let it lie dormant for so long that maybe it's gone now. I mean, I am getting chills every now and then, and certainly when I read the book, the poem, and I think I'm going to do that again. The poem that I wanted to read out by the elevator lift, I'm going to read in here, and then I'm going to open up to the spirit box, because I think that was a good trigger item. Also, she might just not be here. I mean, this was a place of great sadness for her. She might have came in when I was reading the poem and sort of summoned or conjured, if you like, her presence. And then, of course, I'll keep it in the video so you can actually see what I'm talking about. As that happened, a lot of people was walking backwards and forwards, but maybe she just doesn't want to spend time here, which would make sense because she was so unhappy here. Maybe she came to say hello, but she doesn't want to be here very long or communicate, and then she just disappeared. I don't know, so I'm going to read another one of her poems. It's called The Poet, and then we'll open up the spirit box. If we don't have the questions from Bruno by the time we finish the spirit box, then I think we'll call it a night. I don't know what else to do. Again, maybe if we were in the actual building that Elizabeth Barrett Browning lived in, we might be getting more results. but there are still people walking backwards and forwards, and I just don't have the confidence to hold a camera to my face doing ghost hunts in a hotel, especially one so small like this. I don't want to get chucked out, especially on episode 1. Maybe if we were on the last episode, who knows? But I don't particularly want to get chucked out. So I'm gonna get the poem ready. My oily face. So much better. I'm gonna get the poem ready, read it, and then we'll go from there. Just setting up for this, I felt a strong presence in the room. I got chills all over. I felt someone standing behind me. I can still feel someone here. And I realised, and I'm not just saying this, people who don't know about Elizabeth Barrett Browning will probably think I'm just saying it because it's been a quiet hunt. But Elizabeth Barrett Browning was notoriously shy. She lived such a sheltered life that she was very, very socially awkward, if not antisocial, if that's a thing, antisocial, but not in a hoodlum way. So that might be another reason, genuinely might be another reason why she doesn't wish to communicate. I wish I had a pen and paper, because her social life was writing letters, and if I had a pen and paper we could try some scrying. But I'm going to read another poem. I'm going to go over to the spirit box. I still haven't received the recording from Bruno, so this might be last chance saloon. We'll see what happens. The poet. The poet hath the child's sight in his breast, and sees all new. What oftenest he has viewed, he views with the first glory. Fair and good pile never on him at the fairest best, but stand before him holy and undressed in weekday false conventions, such as would drag other men down from the altitude of primal types, too early dispossessed. Why, God would tire of all his heavens as soon as thou, O godlike, childlike poet, didst of daily and nightly sights of sun and moon, and therefore hath he set thee in the midst, where men may hear thy wonders' ceaseless tune, and praise his world for ever, as thou biddest. I know you didn't like my reading of your first poem, and you probably didn't like that one. But if you're here, can you please touch this K2? Please don't be shy. I know you were shy, and understandably so, but this... I'm Adam. I'm also a poet. I'm making what's called YouTube videos. I'm trying to contact great poets such as yourself from the other side. This is a poem you wrote called Life. Each creature holds an insular point in space, yet what man stirs a finger, breathes a sound, but all the multitudinous being round. I am so sorry, I'm totally butchering all your poems. Let me start again. Each creature holds an insular point in space, yet what man stirs a finger, breathes a sound, but all the multitudinous beings round, in all the countless worlds with time and place, for their conditions, down to the central base, thrill happily in vibration and rebound, life answering life across the vast profound, in full antiphony, by a common grace. I think this sudden joyance which illumes a child's mouth sleeping, unaware may run from some soul newly loosened from earth's tombs. I think this passionate sigh, which half begun I stifle back, may reach and stir the plumes of God's calm angel standing in the sun. Again, if I haven't completely scared you off terrible reading. I beg, if the spirit of Elizabeth Barrett Browning is here, please make contact with me tonight. I'm about to turn on the spirit box. You can speak to me through this. All you have to do is talk, and I will hear you through this device. I know you're very, very shy in life, but you don't have to be shy with me. I'm a fellow poet, probably not a very good one, especially compared to you, but I am here to try and communicate with you. Is the spirit of the poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning still here with me? Is the spirit of Edward Barrett here with me? Do either of you have a message? The light? The light? Do you want me to turn the light off? Would you like me to turn the lights off? Have you gone towards the light? Who's back? Who's back? Okay guys, I'm going to turn out all the lights and just crawl out and see what happens. This is going to flip over to night vision. This, I need to turn off the on-camera light. Let's see what happens. If the spirit of Elizabeth Barrett Browning is here, I know you've already communicated with the dowsing rods once. If you can please just show me a sign that you're here and wish to communicate, maybe make a noise. I know you lived a very, very sad life from start to finish. But you became one of the most well-respected poets of your generation, and this is your opportunity to communicate with a new generation of poets. I'm feeling dizzy again. I keep feeling dizzy in this room. I don't think I've said that on this video. If you watch the members behind the scenes video, I think I said it in that one. But this room does make me feel really, really queasy and like I've got vertigo. I don't know if it's because it's so cramped or if it's the floorboards, but even now I just feel really queasy in here. Opening myself up to communication to the poet Elizabeth Barrett Browning in the spiritual world. Oh, I just feel really uneasy. Not scared uneasy, just like vertigo. I'm actually not scared in this video. Maybe it's because I can finally concentrate on the spiritual side of things rather than, being in central London and worried about getting mugged. I'm only here for a little while longer. This is your chance to communicate. I know that the Victorians were very into the supernatural and the paranormal. Just heard something over there, but it's so hard to tell whether it's just the building creaking. I heard something earlier before I started with the big camera. I heard Okay, I just got goosebumps. My camera literally just turned off. Oh, it went into sleep, never mind. I just got... Was it not recording that whole time? Okay, I suppose it doesn't need to record. I don't know what just happened, I just got freaked out, but my camera just went into sleep mode. But why wasn't it recording? I could have sworn I recorded it. I'll have to watch that back because there was... I recorded it when the lights were on. Wait, is this recording? This is recording. I know this is recording. If that was you making a noise in the bathroom, and if you turned my camera off record, can you show me one more sign, one more definitive sign that you're here with me? Constant chills, but I don't know if that's me freaking myself out. Okay guys, I think we are gonna call it a day there. As you can see, sometimes these videos capture something, sometimes they don't. It just goes to show you how convinced I am, or why I'm so convinced with the Christopher Marlowe video. There's plenty of reasons why this might not have been successful. One, she genuinely was notoriously shy as a person. Don't forget, she lived in a bedroom for pretty much her whole life. Two, she was only here for 3 years. It's not like she lived here her whole life. I did think that this would be a pretty good place to come because of all the tragedy that happened while she was here. You know, they talk about residual energy, where things kind of play over and over again. But again, nothing. These things are very hit and miss. You don't know until you come here. She also didn't die here. She died in Italy. So maybe her spirit is in Italy. Or it might be in Walpole Street in London. She spent a lot of time in London, obviously. That's where she kind of became famous. That's her whole literary social circle was there, which included Wordsworth. She was actually painted by Dante Gabriele Rossetti, who we know from season 1 as the brother of Christina Rossetti. So, episode 1 of season 2 out of the way. Sorry it hasn't been massively active. Hopefully it has still been entertained and you're still watching. If you are, please like the video. I did pay for this hotel room even though it didn't go to plan, so at least give me that thumbs up just so I feel the love. Until next time, my name's Adam Gary, and sleep well.